Please be seated. Oh, it just sounded so good it had to happen. You know why? Because you sound like men. And you know why you sound like men? Because God made you to be men. As a matter of fact, brothers, it is when you follow the story of creation, when you're going through the scriptures, going through Genesis and the account of creation, it's all of it moving from one level of good to the next level of gooder. And the final act of creation, the very last thing that God does, brothers, is the division of his image into male and female. It is that very division that two are made out of one. One was made into two. That is why two can become one. Something you cannot have with a man and a man, with a woman and a woman. I don't care what you call it, it'll never be that. It'll never be the thing that God made. Where his image, in a sense, his image is completed. See, God divided the image that he put into man. And he divided, because I suppose in only the way you see in Christ, in our King, who is both lion and lamb in one awesome package. And he is the image of the invisible God. God took that, lion and lamb, and in a very real sense, divided it. Sort of isolating the lamb side in woman and the lion side in man. Does that make sense? Well, brothers, I come to you today as your brother, as a visitor to Southern California. I have made the observation that even within the church, there are men who follow fashion trends that trouble me. Allow me for just a moment to offend some, if I may. There are men, generally they're not heavyweights, wearing women's jeans. Have you made the observation that this is actually happening? Now, I don't want to get all legalistic and pick on anybody. All I want to say is, brothers, if that is you, Job 38, verse 3, God says to Job, gird up your loins like a man. And hey, guys, all I'm saying is, how are you going to gird up your loins like a man if you're shopping in the women's section? Just a thought. There is, my beloved brothers, I believe, let's just call it the Mr. Scale. Let's call it the Mr. Scale. I certainly don't believe, nor do I teach, that every single man ought to be, really, whatever, grunting Viking or anything. However, if you are, I commend you. But look, guys, let's just call it the Mr. Scale, okay? On one end of the scale is Mr. Rodgers. He's a man. He is a man. And I thank God for Mr. Rodgers. When I was a little boy, he ministered to my heart. He's a good guy. On the other end of the scale is put Mr. T. And my encouragement to all men everywhere is just get on the scale. Figure out where you are on that scale and be that. Yes? Settle it, in other words. Figure it out. God has called you to be a man, created you to be a man, and called you to be a man. A mister. Get on the Mr. Scale.